Hey guys, it's JP, and this time we are going to go over a few simple ways I help runners improve the way they push off the ground as they run. This is important, as improving propulsion can help you run faster. This is because the more force you generate as you push off the ground, the farther you will move forward. With a bigger step, this ultimately leads to faster times. Now, here are just a few ways I work on a runner's ability to push off the ground as they run so they can improve their running performance. The first exercise I will go over is a supported single leg heel raise. The reason why I wanted to include this one in this video is because the calf muscles play a huge role in propulsion. Therefore, incorporating calf strengthening exercises may be beneficial. I love this specific variation as this is a way to strengthen the calf muscle in a single leg position without worrying about the balance aspect of a standard single leg heel raise. This one was inspired by one of my colleagues, Chris Johnson. Anyway, to do this one, place one foot on an elevated surface like so. Now just remember that the foot on this surface should really only be used for balance, so minimal weight should be going through it. You can place a ball as shown to really enforce this. Then, the cue I like to use to initiate the movement is to push down from the ball of the foot and raise straight up. I use these cues to specifically keep an athlete from performing compensatory strategies. This would include curling from the toes. Doing so decreases the amount of work the calf muscles would have to do, therefore decreasing the benefits of the activity. Curling from the toes may also teach movement patterns which may not be favorable for long distance runners, as curling from the toes as you run may place unnecessary loads in the feet. The other compensation is leaning forward excessively. Staying upright when doing this really focuses on targeting the calf muscle, which is what we want. Anyway, after raising up on the heels, gently lower down and repeat. As I mentioned in a previous video, to make this harder, you can incorporate increased weights or change the tempo by increasing speed when raising up and slowing down the speed when lowering. Now, another exercise I incorporate to improve a runner's ability to push off the ground is to step up and over. This is a way to work on loading through the foot. If you watch closely, this mimics a similar movement pattern the foot has to go through as you begin to push off the ground. Also, it incorporates strengthening of the quads, which also play a role during propulsion. With this one, I typically use a step as shown, but you can actually do this without one initially to learn the movement. Anyway, to do this one, place the foot on a small step. This can easily be replaced with something like a stack of books, as long as it stays stable and does not move for safety reasons. Once you are set up, push straight down through the ground with the front foot and get into a tall position as shown. Make sure the knee is extended and the torso is upright. Then, gently tap the heel down in front of the step. This is the most important part of the exercise because during this moment, you are working on loading through the foot and are rolling off it. It is this specific moment which is similar to the movement pattern seen as you begin to push off the ground. Anyway, once this occurs, place the front foot flat on the ground, then reverse the movement. And you can repeat it again. Make sure to keep these movements controlled. Once you master this one, you can further challenge yourself by holding weights or increasing the height of the step. The last exercise I wanted to touch upon in this video is the single leg pogo jumps. Remember that running largely involves energy storage and release from the tendons. This is why incorporating plyometrics may be beneficial as well. I wanted to incorporate this variation specifically as this biases usage of the Achilles tendon, which plays a huge role in this phase. To do this one, go onto one leg. Try to keep the body tall and upright. Then, as you land, try to land on the ball of the foot. Now the big difference with this specific variation is that you want to try to keep the knees stiff and try not to actively bend too much from this area. By doing so, this targets more of the Achilles tendon, which is important in propelling you forward. Also, try to keep the landing short and quick. You want to minimize the amount of time on the ground as possible, as this will also bias the tendon more. This concept is also important in running, as minimizing contact time on the ground typically leads to quicker steps, which ultimately improves running speed as well. Now, to challenge yourself more, all you really need to do is jump higher. However, just remember not to compensate by increasing bend from the knees or increasing contact time on the ground. I typically do this by incorporating a metronome to really standardize this. Typically, the slower the beats, the athlete will have to jump higher to match it, therefore increasing the difficulty. And those are a few ways to work on the way you push off the ground as you run. I hope you found the exercises and my insight on them useful. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching.